We are going to promote our.
Hello?
Christina, we're just checking to make sure you're a panelist.
Definitely out west.
Look at those beautiful, the Grand Tetons right behind you there.
Almost.
Hey, I think we
Okay.
are ready to start the meeting.
Okay, I'm going to call the Land Bank meeting of July the 8th, 2025 to order. And I'm going to start by reading, as we're all televised, we are televised, public participation guidelines. Good evening and welcome to the Land Bank Commission meeting. As hybrid meetings are new to us, please be patient with the process. Our hope is that going forward, every meeting will run more smoothly than the last, which is true. We are very pleased you're able to join us both in person and remotely tonight. We're using Zoom webinar for this meeting, which allows the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. The chair can request that members of the public provide their names for purposes of keeping accurate minutes of the meeting. Attendees will join in listening mode, and we ask that everyone display their names correctly. Attendees can click their raise hand button if they wish to speak. The chair will call on those who have raised their hands in the order they were raised. All questions should be directed through the chair. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Thank you. So we're convening an open session. I would ask for a vote to the acceptance of the agenda. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, I've got Christina. John, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina?
Hi.
Aye. And Neil, aye. Public comment, staff announcements. Have we got anything? You're... Oh, thank you very much.
We don't have any staff announcements either. I guess the only thing I would say is that 4th of July was pleasantly calm on Land Bank property.
Anyone arrest?
Yes. I don't actually think it was on Land Bank
No, it
property.
wasn't.
Perfect. Okay. Without further ado, we'll go right to property management. 7 Novadia Farm Road NRSA expansion project update. I'd like to welcome you both. Would you like to wheel it? Because there's a chair there, and if you wheel that one, you can both sit in the hot seats. Yeah, come and join us.
Yeah. Join ahead. We have two here for you. She kindly gave up her seat.
So
don't you take?
I can introduce everyone. So this is Mark Manigault. Little dance.
Rachel, could you possibly have Mark sit on the side so now I can see everyone instead of just his back? Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
This is Mark Manigault and Karen Gottlieb, and they are here representing the NRSA. Mark is the current president of the board, and I actually don't know what your vice president of the board. And they are here tonight to present an update to the commission on the current goings on at the NRSA. It's been a few years since we've heard from them. And so we thought it would be great for them to come in. They are going to be discussing the project, the expansion that they're working on. But we do not have any requests for any funding tonight. But if you do have questions regarding what they're doing and how the NRSA is run, they're here to answer them this evening. And without any further ado, I will share the presentation that they have put together. Oh wait, first I'll bring it up, and then I will share it. So do I get to share? I'll try this one. Let's see, Christina, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing their presentation. Perfect.
So I'm gonna let Mark and Karen take it away.
Great. And thank you for having us here today. I will go through this presentation. I'm not going to go word for word. I'll just kind of highlight the things and, I'll stop and I'm sure you'll have questions for us. But we started out by, if you go to page 1, putting together the history of the NRSA, which was founded over 50 years ago. It was 2 courts that were off Pulpus Road behind Island Lumber. We are a 501c7 organization. Right now we have a 5-member board. It's pretty much run by volunteers. Karen and I are 1 year into our 3-year term, but we have staggered terms. It is a publicly accessible facility. It's very important, and I'll go through that later on. In 2009 was a big movie, and the Land Bank was very instrumental in us moving from that location to our current location on Hinsdale Road, where they moved some paddle courts, added some paddle courts to have, 4 platform tennis courts now, a viewing deck, and a warming hut. And at the time, I think membership grew, but it was about 70 to 75 members. In fact, Karen mentioned today her mother was actually the president of the board at one point, going way back. Then with the second sort of big expansion was in 2019, where we added the 4 pickleball courts with lights. And that was kind of a big deal because that really increased. Platform tennis is pretty much a winter sport, where pickleball not only is played mostly in the warm weather, but it also it's a hugely growing sport. At the time, it was growing, and I think the organization took a chance that pickleball would become popular. They were right, because now it's way more people playing pickleball than tennis, and the courts, we can attest, are very busy over there. So that was a big move. Because of that, the membership increased to close to 400, slightly over 400, and now we're at 380. So that's the history of the club. And I would say at the bottom, except for the first courts, all the money has been given to us by the CPC. And we've gone, personally, I've been before them twice. Even for this current expansion, there's been 3 separate grants of money. So if we move on, any questions? If we go on to the next page. Yes, membership. So as I said, right now we have 380 members. A membership is $500 annual cost. Recently we added 30 year-round members. What we did is did a winter membership. It was mostly year-round, younger people on the island that were working full-time. It worked out well, and we offered them full-time membership. So that's been successful. In terms of the difference between members and guests, the only real difference is that members can reserve 7 days in advance. A guest can reserve 3 days in advance. Membership, when you pay your $500, you play for free. I mean, every time you play. A guest pays $15. Or if you reserve a court for an hour and a half, it's $60. We do a lot of drop-ins, which is open play. They run between 2 and 3 hours. We do 7 of those a week. Anyone can play. If a guest shows up, they don't need to reserve. They pay $15 by QR code. And I put down there in the trailing year, just to let you know how many rounds guests, we took in $60,000 at $15 at a time. So it's, I mean, Karen can attest, at the drop-ins recently, we have 4 courts, 60 people can play. We've had 50 to 60 people showing up.
We had 60 on Friday morning, right before July 4th. We expected to have a big crew, and we did. So all 4 courts were used, and we actually, because it normally ends at noon, we had two courts that weren't booked at noon, so we just kept the drop-in going, which was great.
And we have a bin with free paddles and balls that we provide. Also for guests, we do, the pickle committee, and I've taught some myself, is where we do novice clinics that are open to the public, and we get the word out, and they've been successful. We get 2 sessions of 16 people coming, and it's just something to get people more involved in that. So everything is done through the website. We have an app. If you're a guest, you go to the website, you download the app, and you can reserve courts. So
you don't have to reserve a court along with a member, like at the golf course, you can
No.
come as a guest, but you gotta be with a member.
yes,
That's not the case with you?
Anybody can reserve a court.
Okay, and
yeah.
guest, when you use the term guest, it's always public, is that right?
Sorry, when I say guests, I should say members and non-members. It's open to the public. So yeah, you're right. It's not a guest of anyone.
Okay,
They're
thank
just
you.
coming. And especially, I would say July and August, the courts are very busy with, people here that a week or 2 weeks, they find out we have open play and these drop-ins, and they show up, and it's very successful that way. So that's really it. So the members, again, 7 days in advance, so that's a little bit ahead. And there's certain tournaments like the club championships that are limited capacity because we only have 4 courts that we only open to the members. Other than that, it's a level playing field. Go to the next. Karen, do you want to
Sure,
talk? Karen happens to be besides on the board, all the board members are on one committee, building committee, paddle committee. I'm on the pickleball committee. So if you want to just talk a little bit about this.
So just briefly, because we've got the paddle tennis and we also have pickle, we have very strong committees that help run all the programming. So there's a paddle tennis committee and we have 7 members on that. Each of the members on the paddle committee takes one area that they focus on and develop and run. But we have a very vibrant paddle community. From leagues, they're all in here and you've probably read it, but we had 76 players in a team league format and they would compete once a week, all internal. We had a masters league with 38 players. We have tournaments where we travel off island. We invite other clubs to come to Nantucket for tournaments. We offer clinics. They were about every 3 weeks. They were open with volunteer coaching, Marsh Chambers, and then an assortment of Mark was one of the coaches, for example. And we had a competitive paddle light ladder that people competed in weekly to advance or have competitive games. And it's busy. It's very busy over there in the paddle world. Again, it's non-members can book courts as well, so it isn't just for members to use the paddle courts, and it's a good place to be in the winter when it's dark at 4 o'clock. And it gives all people something to do that's healthy and recreational.
And one thing I'll point out, this is the first year we did what we called the Nantucket Open, and it was a competitive tournament that was some members, but a lot of people came from off island, and we hope to build that. It was a really exciting 2-day event.
Oh, and the clinics, we have big paddle clinics, or people come from all over the country. They come to Nantucket, they spend 3-4 days and they participate in paddle clinics. They're open to the Nantucket community first. Anybody can sign up. And then once the Nantucket community timeline has been granted, then it's open to the rest of the country. We have a lot of people coming in from the East Coast and they are quite well known, and those courts are just operational from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m.
And if we go to the next, any questions on that before we go forward? It's okay. Again, I talked a little bit about the pickleball program. We do have 7 open play sessions per week. One of the exciting things about the new courts is to definitely expand that next year, hopefully, because the open play are very popular, and that's when anyone can play. We did some novice clinics open to the public this year. As mentioned, we do work with Strong Winds where they come and they can walk over basically. We give them 2 courts 2 times a week, and we don't charge. They use our loaner paddles, and it's, I think the 2 older age groups in there come over. So there's a lot of, we're trying to do more of that. And then one of the members, Brian Fasadi, is very involved with Fairwinds, and he brings some of the clients in that over. And again, we don't charge with that. We just do that as they want to. The bottom, 336 hours of court time are provided. We have lights, and we have I have an iPad, so we make sure the lights are off by 9:15. That's just really courtesy to the neighbors. But the courts are, they are used.
We shut the lights off because if we did not,
Yeah.
people would be playing out there until midnight.
Yeah, we actually had to put a lock on the timer, so. So anyway, that pickleball is really, as we talk more about the expansion, is really where you can get a court to play paddle pretty easily, especially, for some of us during the day. But pickleball this time of the year, if you look on the app, it gets very busy. And there are spaces, so people can play, but the courts definitely get a lot of use. Move on to the next page.
Can I have a quick question on that one?
Sure.
Just back to that, you said that there were 7 days. Could you just go back to the other screen? You had 7 open play sessions, so there's 16 hours that the public can use it, but it actually, you have 336 hours of court time per week. Am I reading that correct?
No, the open play session, what that means is that we reserve a 3-hour block that no one can make a reservation, and people can we call it drop in. People can just show up at any point during that 3 hours and play. And the only thing is, if you are a non-member, there's a $15 fee. But you can come and pay $15 and play for 3 hours. 16 people can play at a time, and everyone rotates in. So that's open play,
Okay.
the 16 hours.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Just to be clear, a non-member can make a reservation at any other time without a member and get a court for an hour and a half at $15 a person.
The reason why drop-in is so popular is because normally you need 4 people to play a game. And sometimes people are here for a week or 2 or the summer, and they don't have 4 people to play with. So they come to drop-in and there is an automatic rotation of playing. And so you can come by yourself and have games and play for up to, 3+ hours without making a reservation for a court.
Okay, thank you.
Rachel, can we skip the next slide and go to the last one first and then come back to this? Because I think there might be more.
Yeah.
So Linda Reith, who's a member, is our longstanding members, our bookkeeper. I have all the financials. I just wanted to put some high level things on this page. That revenue we're on a fiscal year that ends the end of June. We took in $196,000 in the trailing fiscal year. Guest fees, as I mentioned, $60,000, and that's we don't break it out, but we know that 95% of that is really from pickleball. The expenses could have organized this a little better, but some of these are one time. The consultant at $128K is CHA, who's been working with our design committee, and Eleanor and Rachel. We've met, every Friday for a long time. They are helping us with, or have helped us put together that whole expansion plan. This year we had a company come in. That's a one-time cost to redo the platform tennis courts. We had to redo the fencing on the pickleball court at $35,000. Those are all one-time things. Maintenance, supplies, and insurance, that's an I put, that's at our annual run rate. And the pickleball courts that we put in 2019 just need to be resurfaced. That's more like, layers of paint, acrylic paint. We also replaced the pickleball fencing at $35,000. I didn't put it up here, but right now we have about $340,000 in the bank. And I feel pretty good about that, given that we've had a pretty, a lot of one-time fees that we won't have to do for a long time, and we still have that money in the bank. In terms of future hiring needs, right now, the only professional person that we have is our bookkeeper, that has a salary. Everything else is volunteer. We know that once we break ground and start this project, we will need a project manager to oversee that. It won't be full-time. One of our benefits is one of the board members is João Coutinho, and he runs Mercatus Builders. He's been building on the island, I think, since 2008, I think he said. And he is we'll use his expertise to help us oversee that project and oversee whoever we hire as a project manager. And then at some point, we will, with the additional courts for pickleball to Padel, we know we will need someone on a more full-time basis to just help manage the facility.
So just a question, you're saying that the platform or paddle,
Yeah.
the attendance is decreasing, and you haven't thought of swapping those into being pickle? If they're sitting vacant.
Oh, no, they're not vacant. Sorry if it didn't cross that way. It's just that we don't have 500 people a day using the courts like we do in pickle, but they're booked. And they're busy. They're very busy because we have about 150 paddle players, active paddle players, throughout the winter season. Those are who are members, not including public use. Those courts are definitely very busy too, but they're not the massive volume that we have on the pickleball courts.
I have one question. Can you explain to me, it's going to sound a stupid question possibly, the difference between padel and pickleball?
Yeah, do you want to take that one or?
Sure. So Padel is it's a growing sport that was more played in Mexico and Argentina and Spain, but it's the court. We don't have a photo in here, do we? It's Padel. Pickleball is played on there's fences around it, but you don't play off the screen. The ball hits the fence, it's out of play. Padel is played, and part of there's a concrete slab, and it comes in a kit where the court is enclosed, and the back third of both sides are plexiglass. So the whole interior floor is kind of an indoor-outdoor carpet, and it's in play. There's a net in the middle, and you hit it, and it's ricocheted a lot off the plexiglass.
It's like squash, but two sides.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It sounds like that.
Or racquetball, yeah, two sides with a net in the middle, and it's very exciting, it's fast, it's a higher level of athleticism than pickleball, frankly. And in terms of people around the island talking to us about our expansion, I get tons of calls about Padel because I think there's one private Padel court on the island, and tons of people that are come here, love to play it, and they're excited for these courts.
That was my question.
I've played it about half a dozen times, and it's even around New York City, there's a lot of courts being built, but they're still very expensive to play. They charge $250 an hour or something, but they are building a lot more courts these days. And maybe go back to
So will they go at a higher hourly rate than your other courts?
it's a really good question. We know that, I have played in Norwell, Connecticut. I used to live down there. There's an indoor facility that has padel and pickleball. they charge a lot more for padel than pickleball because the people who play it are willing and used to playing it. The fact is, we try to keep costs down, $15. We really want this to be more of a public place, so I'm not trying. I don't know, it might be something we charge a little bit more, but we're not gonna really start charging exorbitant fees because we are basically a public facility.
Do you think you'll have clinics to
Oh, yeah.
get people acquainted with Padel?
Definitely. There's a lot of some of the pros on the island that teach at different places in the winter, there are places that have padel. So, we can use someone, but there are some pros around that can teach it. And I think it's gonna be, I told Tina at Tennis Loft, now there's a new paddle that she has to carry because people are gonna be buying it. So, I think we'll have to introduce it to some people. But anyone that's played is, a lot of people that have played, like myself, are very excited to play more.
Is it a year-round sport or is it more of a summer?
It's not if it gets too cold, then the ball's not gonna react, but it can be more of a 9-month sport. Where pickleball is probably more of for some of us, but it's more of a, say, 6-month sport.
But the other thing that we're very fortunate in Nantucket because we're relatively mild. We don't get snow, really, not much, it's rare. And so all of our sports, including pickleball, which is more typically a summer sport, the courts are used all year. February, if a sunny day, it may be cold, but people are down there playing. So same with paddle. If you come out to the courts tomorrow, you'll see people on the paddle tennis courts playing paddle. Both areas are used year round. And I anticipate with the excitement about padel, that's probably gonna be, used year round as well.
Yeah, and because the court is kind of this indoor-outdoor carpet, it doesn't get slippery like a pickleball court would. So you can play even if it's a little moist. It'll be fun.
Just out of curiosity and possibly a sensitive question, but is it the same level of noise as pickleball?
It's less noise.
It's less noise.
Yes.
You said it was enclosed with four walls. I was wondering if it echoed more.
No, because the ball is like a tennis ball that's less inflated. And it makes a very, pickleball is a hard plastic wiffle ball. So it's very different. But the actual plexiglass does even keep the noise in a little bit more, but that's not an issue with those courts. And this is our final slide, I think. It was our final slide.
There you go. We have a little bit of an unstable internet connection, sorry.
It's okay.
It was the one before it, I think.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go.
So at the top, we already talked about our 5-person board and the pickleball and paddle committees. That's another 15 volunteers. The bookkeeper, Charlie Reddy, we have a company called Foundation Tennis. They've built our a website, which frankly is not a great website, but it directs people to the app. And that's the most important thing that everyone uses to reserve courts. In terms of the expansion, I know we've showed the plans, but it's 4 pickleball, 2 padel, expanded parking. I put ADA because everything is going to be ADA accessible, and we've met. Eleanor and I met, and they've been over ComBis has been over a couple times to make sure not only is the new stuff ADA accessible, but there's a couple things we have to do with our current situation to update that. We did go out and we had a contractor that came in. It's Holgate Partners along with Cape Island Tennis and Padel, which is a big off-island company that does a ton of courts. They are doing Great Harbors courts and just finishing that up now. The plan is, and we're tentatively, on their schedule, is to begin construction in fall 2005. Have most of it done and then wait till the warm weather in the spring to paint the pickleball courts and then be ready for next season. As I mentioned before, we've gotten money from the CPC, 3 different. We've, asked for more money, but this is what we have, 1.495 million. The bid came in higher than we expected. I think part of it is, procurement process, part of it is just general costs. So there is a gap of slightly over 200,000.
Just
We used to that.
clarity, you've got 1.4, very close to 1.5, but do you also have an additional 340?
Yes.
Back, so it's obviously very close.
It is, we also have a $350,000 credit line
Oh.
that we have. So, I mean, we've had lots of conversations about this. We could do this project. And the CHA 125, that was a big expense for us. But if you look at our revenues are something like $270,000 for membership fees and guest fees. Our expenses are much lower than that.
Yeah.
So could we do this project? Yes. We have to, I'd like to fill the gap some other way so that we, have our funds to do other things. The main thing we do is maintain the courts and, make sure they're working out, but that is costing us somewhere between 30, we estimate with the new courts, it may go up to 50,000. But both pickleball and padel courts are very easy to maintain. Unlike like a hard true tennis court where they have to come in every year and redo the courts. That's part of the reason why we're not doing tennis courts. So that's kind of where we stand, and we've been working on this a long time. Everyone's excited about it. The community, we would definitely expand membership. There's a huge, pent up demand. People ask us all the time. We just haven't done it mainly because of the pickleball capacity. And, that's it. But we're thinking that if we get these courts, we could add 100 members to get close to 500. We're talking about a lot of different things. Do we do a separate padel membership? Do we split winter and summer? Right now, it's just one membership. And so there's other options as we expand.
Right.
And that's where we stand.
So at our golf courses that we sort of always monitor the capping the number of memberships so that the public still gets a good portion of playing time. And you're saying you're going from 380 to 500, and will that change the percentage of available time to the public?
I don't think so. I remember we had 4,000 guest fees this year. So that's a lot. And I think we're doubling the amount of pickle courts, which is where all those guest fees from. We're not going to do it irresponsibly. We don't want to change. Guests can play. We have a phone number that people text all the time. They ask. We have an email. We just get lots of inquiries from the public, and we want to keep it that way. So, but that's so we're not going to change that. It's not like we're doing this expansion for the members, because the members, we do play a lot of the members play all the time, but people are excited to be just part of it.
And we'll have 4 additional courts too. So we can expand because of the double the capacity court wise. We'll be able to not only take more members, but also have additional courts for the public.
Yeah.
So I don't see an impact in terms of public usage. That's primary.
And we definitely just, I mentioned this before, but we will open play the periods where anyone can come alone and play and rotate in with a lot of people are the most popular times by far. Where we get 50 or 60 people waiting for 4 courts. Now we're going to expand.
Christina, you have your hand up.
I do. I'm going to ask all my questions at once, just so it's not back and forth through Zoom, and then you can answer them as you can. Do you have a wait list for the membership, and how long is that? And then I was curious if you have a percentage of play time of members versus non-members. I'm trying to get a sense of how that breakdown is. Like in our Maya Comet golf, it's 50-50. So I'm just curious what the percentage of your member playing is versus your non-member. And then you just said that people text and call a number. Can guests download the app and book? Can the public book through the app as well? So those are my three questions.
Yeah, I'll start with the last one because that's the easiest. Yes, it's the same exact. If people go on and Google Nantucket Pickleball, our website comes up. They're directed to the app and it's the same thing. It's just the only difference is if you're a non-member and you book an hour and a half on the pickle court, you have to pay the $60 at that time. But everything else is exactly the same. In terms of a wait list, when I look through, it's the only thing when I look through, what do we call it, the license agreement we have with you? It's the only thing in there that we don't do that's in that license agreement. That decision was made before I was involved in the board, but I think the idea was that our membership grew really almost too big. We've now shrunk it by sort of attrition over the last couple of years. And I think part of it was we didn't know, we wanted to leave options that, if we did this expansion and got the new courts and got the Padel courts, that we could make decisions on how to expand the membership at that time. So the short answer is no, we don't have a waiting list. In terms of members versus non-members, we don't really track that at this point, but I could try to.
I can
There might be
answer
a
that
way.
with the drop-ins, though. I'm at the drop-ins at most of the open drop-ins. And more than 50% of our drop-ins are non-members. That is a very busy non-member time to come play, because members have groups that they can book with. A lot of the public comes to drop-in. And that's a busy, so numbers wise, we're easily at 50% or more public, at least certainly in the drop-in time.
Yeah, I'd be curious on the overall. My concern, I would love to see that you said that, the members can book 7 days in advance, the non-members only 3 days. I'm just trying to get a feel for, have the members booked up everything and there's no time for the non-members, and then, it's $60 for an hour and a half, but then if you drop in, it's $15. Like, how many drop-ins do you have? I'm just trying to get a gauge for the public participation, and how much of it is taken up by the members being able to book 7 days in advance. And I'm just trying to see how fair it is, or how much it's being used.
Sorry
member versus
to interrupt.
non-member.
One thing we did not mention, which is really an important part of members being allowed to book, you're only allowed to book 3 courts. So I am a very active member. I can only book 3 courts a week. So that is a way to allow accessibility to everybody.
It's three courts at any
A week.
one time.
Yeah.
I think it's different.
At any one time, or 3 courts a week?
It's at any one time.
But for 7 days.
It-
It's a 7-day period that I can't, like, if I have 3 courts booked in 7 days, I can't book another one.
Okay.
I guess to
Like
describe
recess.
that, you can only book 7 days out. You can only have 3 courts booked during that time. If one of your courts you use, then you get another court, but you can't book more than 7 days out. And I think it's, if you think about it, it's very different than trying to get on my comment, a reservation between 8 and 8:01 PM, because I try that. And we met the other day, I showed the app. When you look at the app, there are spots definitely open. They eventually get booked up, but non-members can get courts even 3 days out. It's not necessarily like wall to wall, like everything's booked.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and one last question. You mentioned the 30 year-round people that you gave memberships to. How were those people determined?
We decided to go out to the membership and say, is anyone that interested? And that's how we did it. So we accumulated a list. We wanted to, you know, a lot of the people that are around that play paddle we're all getting older. There's a whole younger part of the community of people that work year round, work full time. So we really wanted to get like the next, I would say, generation of players. And that's a lot of those people were, and they, you know, they loved it. They were playing there all the time, every night. And then because, you know, it worked out so well, we decided that we wanted those people to be full members. So there wasn't,
We were trying
Yeah.
to target the year-round younger kids who are out in Nantucket for a place for them to go and to be part of a community and have an active, healthy option. And so we did have a bunch of young kids join us, and it was wonderful, like Patty Davidson, I'm just using a couple names, like a bunch of great kids who are here year-round. They graduated from Nantucket High School, and they joined the club, and they participated in all of the programs that I went over with paddle. Like they joined the league, they played in the competitive ladder, they participated in the tournaments, and they were very busy and very involved. And we wanted them to be able to continue to access that. So those young kids joined the year-round
and now they're playing,
membership, and they're playing pickleball. But they work all day, so they're there from 6 p.m. until 9.
So we just got lists of names of people that were interested. We didn't do any sort of, you know, write a letter of recommendation or anything like that. It was just a list of names of people that were excited and would participate. We wanted people that would participate.
We basically didn't say no to anybody who wanted to jump in.
Yeah, but in the future, that might be something that should be advertised so that the entire community might have an opportunity, as opposed to just people who know people.
Yeah,
Just a
true. I think
suggestion.
we were just trying to target some of those.
I think you're right, Christina, and we've talked about when and if we expand and how to do that. It would have to be more open
Open.
to everyone, and it has to be probably more of a lottery or something. So we don't know that process yet, but
So say, does anyone else have any questions, John?
But I'm glad you are aware of that, because if you don't have a wait list, but yet these kids got in ahead of some other people, I mean, you're gonna face that when you open up your membership. You're gonna get some pushback from certain people.
for sure.
If you don't have a wait list, and then now you open it up, get ready for the onslaught.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
That was it. Just, you seem to be aware of that, so.
I'd like to thank you both very much. I find it very educational, and I applaud your commitment to public use, which, you know, it's sitting on land bank land, public property, and I learned a lot about the way you run things, and I'm gratified. And you're going to break ground this fall.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I'm sorry. It sounded difficult.
$200,000.
Right.
Yeah, no, we will do it. I mean, there's
Great.
a lot of excitement for it, so.
Great.
Excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's admirable.
We took a lot of time, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for all of your support,
Thank you.
because
Yeah.
it's
Thank you for
It's such
coming in.
it's such an important part of the community in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be there without all of you. So thank you so much for that.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Okay,
much. That
thank
was
you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
It was very brief.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all.
Yes, good to see you. Okay, thank you all. Let's see, transfer business.
Okay, so. We have, few new happy home owners, so take one signature each.
Make a motion to accept the transfer.
Thank you. Second,
So.
okay, John,
And then,
Aye. Christina,
Aye.
Alan, Neil, aye. So we've accepted those.
so also on transfer, there is a, all right, so there was a unreported transfer of membership interest, which is something we addressed with these same owners, and we ended up putting an assessment on it. They've come through, done all the paperwork, paid everything, penalty and interest. Now there was another property that was related to it. They didn't know. Now they understood. They've come forward and done it on their own, very timely. They've paid it all. They paid the penalty and interest, but they're asking to waive the penalty. And we are recommending that because they've been so forthcoming, because it wasn't when we caught them on. It was something that they said, oh, I think we did the same thing on this one. So it's 2007, and I did put that amount of money on the warrant in case you approved it, so I could get a check back to them. But if you don't approve it, I want some check.
So what do we have to do to approve it?
Just vote to waive the penalty if you want to.
I've always historically really liked your judgment on these matters and you're scrupulously fair. So I would look for someone. Thank you.
Second.
Second, any discussion on waiving the penalty? Seeing none, John?
Aye.
Mark? Christina?
Aye. Aye.
Anil, aye. That's written.
Yeah, that makes it quite easy when you bring it to us like that.
Yeah, no, and you know the difference between someone who's not as eager to pay.
Well, I think the first time, I think they also didn't know and didn't do it on purpose, but they were using it off an attorney and he just sort of dropped off the face of the earth. So it got his attention and they hired an on-island attorney and they got it done.
Perfect. No, it just saves money.
Marion is our sleuth and finds all these things.
Yeah, no one gets past you.
It's tough.
Okay, we have 4 consent items. The monthly transfer statistics, the warrant authorization, another warrant authorization, and 31 fairground housing and type of property use request.
Make a motion to accept the consent items.
Thank you. Second,
May I just, I know they want to invite you all to the housing activity, would like to, and presumably somehow reach out to you. It's not an open meeting law violation when it's a social event. You just can't engage, obviously, in any
right,
kind of deliberation whatsoever
perfect.
if you attend.
F10, yeah. Sounds like a great.
Yeah.
I would be, when is it?
It's a block party. It's the 18th.
18.
We'll send out an invitation.
Okay,
No,
cool.
please do.
Yeah, I think it's a great milestone. Hopefully Billy Cassidy will be there.
So too.
Yeah, okay. Okay, did we vote on that?
I'm gonna recuse from the warrant just because I haven't reviewed it, so.
Okay.
Sorry,
Christina's recusing.
Aye, she's recusing. Aye.
aye. Recused,
Aye.
Neil, aye.
And I'll make a motion to approval of minutes.
Oh, thank you. John's made a motion to approve the minutes, unless anyone has any
Second.
second. Any discussion? Go right to the vote. John?
Aye.
Mark? Christina?
Aye.
Aye. And Neil, aye.
Hi, John Carl.
Thank you. Brings us to number 7. Any commissioners' additional questions or concerns?
Not at this time. Not at this time.
Not at this time. Nicely put.
No.
Christina, all the way from the far west.
Montana, no questions, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, I have no questions either. So at this stage, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session, but I have to read this.
Yes, you have to read that.
The commission, just as a point of here, the commission will not reconvene an open session at the conclusion of executive session. The purpose of this
No, it's this
is to comply with, much better than this thing. We're entering executive session for the following purposes. Purpose 7, to approve executive session minutes. Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, and discussing it in open session may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the land bank. Purpose 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Discussions in an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the land bank. 3, all votes in executive session must be roll call. Chair must also, capital letters, publicly announce whether open session shall reconvene or not reconvene at the conclusion of executive session. Says please read language in bold aloud, and we are definitely not reconvening at the end of the session. So at that, I would ask for a motion to go into executive session.
Motion made.
Second.
Second, roll call. John? Mark?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Neil? Aye. So
We'll close
You
the-
get some things to sign.
Okay, I'll see you in the other meeting.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, I will.
it's in this one.